Okay, let's unpack this. We've got some source material here, and it's pretty specific. It looks at what happens when, well, high-performance automation gets aimed right at educational tech. So our mission today, a deep dive into, yeah, the architecture, the capabilities, and maybe the bigger picture behind a tool built to just bypass a major digital literacy platform instantly,
And
flawlessly.
maybe undetectably, too. That's often the goal.
Right. The target here is typing.com. You might know it. It's free, used in a lot of schools, focuses on keyboarding, digital literacy, even some basic coding stuff.
hmm And its whole value really hinges on tracking progress, your speed, your accuracy. It measures skill development.
Exactly. And the tool we're looking at is called the typing.com bot autotyper v3.0.
Yeah.
And it's not just like a simple script. It's described as this sophisticated cheat tool built specifically to do your homework, your exercises, your tests on the platform.
Without the student actually doing the typing.
Yeah, zero effort required, apparently. It aims for perfect completion. And here's the kicker, the big number they advertise right up front. This bot can supposedly type up to 300 words per minute
Wow.
with 100% accuracy.
Okay, so 300 WPM, perfect accuracy. That that number alone really changes things, doesn't it? We're not talking about, glancing at an answer key. This is like completely outsourcing the physical skill itself to an algorithm.
Yeah.
And it immediately makes you ask, right? If the main way you measure skill speed and accuracy can just be automated like that perfectly,
Yeah.
well, what does that metric even mean anymore in school?
It basically zeroes out the whole learning progress idea.
Exactly. Perfect performance, zero learning. It puts the platform's whole system under, well, serious pressure.
Definitely. And it's not just for one or two things. Let's look at the scope here. The source material gives a pretty detailed checklist of what this Autotyper bot version 3.0 claims it can beat. And the list is long. It suggests this wasn't just a quick hack someone threw together.
Right. It took some effort.
It handles all the standard typing lessons. Beginner, intermediate, advanced, the whole curriculum. Plus, it targets the coding modules too. Essentials, reinforcement, stories.
Which means it can handle typing code, right?
Yeah.
Specific syntax, weird characters, not just plain text.
Yeah, seems like it. And what's maybe more telling is how it tackles the tests.
Ah, the high-stakes stuff.
Totally.
Yeah.
It claims it works on all the time tests, 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes.
Okay.
And the page tests 1, 2, or 3 pages. And even the final assessment module.
So basically, everything that actually counts towards a grade or completion
Right.
is built to deliver that final result.
That seems to be the idea. The promise is simple. Wait and watch your homework getting completed. Just sit back.
Effortless.
But interestingly, it's not everything. The source is very specific about 2 modules it doesn't support.
Ooh, which ones?
Tech readiness and career prep explicitly listed as not available for the cheat.
Huh. Okay, that's actually quite revealing.
Why do you say that?
Well, think about it. Typing speed and accuracy. That's standardized, it's predictable input, copy this text perfectly, quickly.
Right.
Tech readiness, career prep. Based on what those usually involve, they probably need more. Maybe interpretation, making choices, interacting in ways that aren't just rote typing.
So tasks that need some actual thinking, not just finger speed.
Exactly. Things that go beyond just mimicking input so the bot hits a wall there.
That makes sense. It highlights the limits of this kind of automation anyway. It's good at the mechanical stuff, fails at the cognitive.
Precisely. It shows where, the human element still matters in that curriculum.
So, okay, if we're looking at how this thing works,
Right.
how does it actually achieve that perfect accuracy and crazy speed on the parts it can handle? And why the 300 WPM ceiling if someone might only want, say, 70 WPM?
Good questions. That gets us into the technical setup.
All right, since you listen to, getting into the nuts and bolts, let's break down the tech. This isn't just, pasting code into your browser console.
No, it's more involved. The source describes a 3-layer approach. It's quite sophisticated, really.
Okay, layer 1. The setup starts in the browser. Step 1 is installing an extension called TamperMonkey. Maybe explain that for folks who haven't used it.
Sure. TamperMonkey is essentially a user script manager. Think of it like a gatekeeper that lets you run custom code on websites.
Custom code being user scripts.
Exactly. Normally, websites run in a sandbox for security. They can't easily mess with your browser or computer. TamperMonkey lets specific JavaScript code. These user scripts run with slightly elevated permissions on specific sites you approve.
Like typing.com in this case.
Right. It allows the script to modify the page or interact with it in ways a normal web page script couldn't.
Okay, so TamperMonkey sets the stage. Then step 2 is adding the actual script. typingbot.user.js. This is the bot's code inside the browser.
It's the browser side part of the bot, yeah. The source calls it the coordination script. It's the crucial piece that runs on the typing.com page.
And what does it do?
It automatically activates on the lesson or test pages. Its main job is to read the text the student is supposed to type. You know, the prompt.
Okay, it sees the text.
And then this is key. It opens up a communication channel to something outside the browser.
Which brings us to step 3, the external part. The user has to download and run an executable file, typing combot.exe.
Correct. Available for Windows, Mac OS, Linux apparently. Comes in a zip file. This runs separately, outside the browser sandbox entirely.
Now, why do that? Why the complexity and, frankly, the potential sketchiness of running a separate .exe file? Couldn't they just make the JavaScript really powerful?
That's actually the core insight into why it's built this way. Even with TamperMonkey giving it more permissions, JavaScript running inside a browser has limits. Speed limits, security limits.
Like what?
Well, if a script tries to simulate typing super fast, like 300 WPM fast, the browser itself might slow it down. Or the website's own anti-cheat might detect that the inputs are coming too regularly, too synthetically. The timing might be off compared to a real human.
Gotcha. So the browser environment itself can be a bottleneck.
Exactly. So the external executable, the .exe file, acts as the, let's call it the high-precision driver or actuator.
Okay.
It runs directly on the operating system.
Yep.
It likely communicates with the browser script, the JS file, using something called inter-process communication, maybe a local network connection just between those two parts.
So the script tells the executable what text to type.
Right. The script reads the prompt from the web page, sends it to the .exe, and because the .exe is running outside the browser, it can inject keystrokes directly into the active window of the typing.com page incredibly fast and precisely.
Bypassing browser limitations.
Bypassing browser limitations and potential detection that relies on in-browser activity patterns. It allows for that raw 300 WPM speed and claimed 100% accuracy. It's built for speed and fidelity at the OS level.
Okay, that makes sense. The user script is the eyes reading the page. The executable is the fingers doing the typing at max speed.
That's a good way to put it. And once you have that engine running, the user gets control. They pick a mode testing, single run, multi-run, but crucially, they customize the speed, anywhere from 1 WPM up to the full 300. And the accuracy, from 90% to 100%.
The customization. That sounds like the key to not getting caught, right? Why offer 300 WPM if it screams cheat?
Exactly, because setting it to 300 WPM for a typical student assignment would be ridiculously obvious. Instant red flag.
Right.
But the ability to dial it down, say you set it to 65 WPM, 99% accuracy, that looks perfectly normal, maybe even good for a student at a certain level.
Plausible deniability.
Totally. The 300 WPM isn't the goal for most users, it's the guarantee. It means whatever plausible speed you choose, the bot can hit it instantly and perfectly, every single time. It makes the cheating reliable and potentially much harder to spot if used carefully. It's weaponizing perfect execution for subtle deception.
And this isn't some dusty old tool found on a forgotten forum. It's version 3.0. That implies updates, maintenance.
Ongoing development, yeah. Which suggests it's actively being used, and likely that the platform itself, typing.com, is probably trying to block it. It's that classic cat and mouse game.
And the source material points to a whole support system around it.
Like what?
Well, it mentions a YouTube channel specifically for showing how to use the features, the different modes. And it gives a Discord username, PRI5855, for users to contact the developer. For help, bug reports, even suggesting improvements.
Okay, wow. So YouTube demos and direct Discord support. That moves it beyond just a simple tool. That sounds more like an ongoing service almost.
Yeah, it does.
Having that kind of support structure tells you a few things. One, there's likely a user base big enough to make supporting it worthwhile for the developer.
Right, demand exists.
Two, it highlights how fragile these cheats can be.
Right.
When typing.com updates its website, changes the layout, tweaks the code, adds anti-cheat, measures what happens.
The bot breaks.
Instantly. Especially that coordination script, the JS file. It's probably tied very specifically to how the typing.com pages are built right now. Any change could stop it from reading the text or communicating properly.
Just the developer has to constantly fix it.
Constantly. They need to be actively patching the script and maybe even the executable to keep up. That Discord channel in YouTube, that's likely how they distribute updates and instructions quickly to keep the cheat working.
So the support isn't just help desk, it's essential maintenance for the cheat itself.
Absolutely. That sophisticated architecture we talked about. It's only effective if that crucial link, the user script, is kept perfectly in sync with the target website.
It paints a picture of a sustained effort. The goal isn't just to cheat on one assignment. It's to maintain the ability to cheat, to keep generating those perfect scores whenever needed.
And the focus shifts, doesn't it? It's
No.
not about learning the skill anymore. It becomes about mastering the tool that fakes the skill metric.
Yeah, the metric is the target.
And systemically, the existence of this tool with its support system implies there's a real desire among some users to just skip the learning part entirely for these kinds of skills.
The irony is pretty thick. A platform designed to measure skill through speed and accuracy.
It's defeated by a tool that delivers perfect speed and accuracy on demand. It uses the platform's own measurement against it with total fidelity.
It really does expose a vulnerability in any assessment that boils down purely to easily quantifiable inputs like speed and accuracy.
Yeah.
If a bot can fake it perfectly.
The metric itself starts to feel a bit shaky, doesn't it? #tagoutro.
Okay, so let's quickly recap our deep dive for you. We've looked at this typing.com auto typer bot based on the source material. We saw its big claims, 300 WPM, 100% accuracy, and the wide range of lessons and tests it targets.
Everything from basic lessons to coding exercises to final assessments.
And crucially, we unpacked the tech behind it, that three-part system. TamperMonkey setting the stage in the browser.
Right. The user script acting as the coordinator inside the page.
And that external executable file doing the heavy lifting, injecting keystrokes at the OS level for maximum speed and precision.
A pretty sophisticated setup designed to deliver not just perfect, but customizably perfect and therefore believable results for basic digital skills.
So here's the final thought to leave you with. If tools like this can automate foundational skills so easily, so reliably, and potentially so undetectably, does that force educators to completely rethink how they measure these skills?
Or maybe does it just push the focus toward those areas the bot can't handle? You know, like the tech readiness and career prep modules mentioned in the source, the areas requiring critical thinking or complex interaction, not just rote input. Is that where assessment has to go?
Something for you to definitely mull over as we watch automation continue to intersect with education in increasingly complex ways. End of deep dive.